You'd guess wolves or lions, maybe bears. You'd be wrong. Long before any of those animals topped the list of things that hunted early humans, there was one predator so effective at killing our ancestors that it may have shaped the way we walk, the way we scream, and the way we still sleep in groups today. And it wasn't a wolf. It wasn't even a pack animal. It was something that came from above and from the dark, almost silently. In the 1970s, a paleontologist named C.K. Brain was digging through a South African cave called Swartkrans, sorting through thousands of bones. Most of them belonged to early hominins, ancestors and relatives of modern humans, and a strange number of those skulls had two puncture holes in them, perfectly spaced, perfectly matched. He eventually matched the spacing to a lower jaw found nearby. The punctures weren't from a rock or a fall or another hominin. They were canine teeth. The animal responsible wasn't a lion. Lions hunt in open grassland, and hominins were smart enough to mostly avoid open grassland. The real threat came from something built to hunt exactly where early humans felt safest: in trees, in caves, at the edges of camps at night. It was the leopard. Here's what made leopards uniquely dangerous compared to almost every other predator on the savanna. Lions hunt in the open, in daylight-adjacent hours, in packs you can sometimes see coming. Hyenas are loud and they scavenge as much as they hunt. Crocodiles stay near water. You can choose not to go there. Leopards do none of that. They hunt alone. They hunt at night. They climb. They can carry prey twice their own body weight straight up into a tree, out of reach of anything else, which means the one place early hominins might have felt safest, up off the ground, was exactly where leopards liked to eat. There's a fossil skull known as the Taum child, one of the most famous hominin fossils ever found. For decades, nobody could explain the strange marks on it. Then researchers matched them to eagle talons, a reminder that the danger didn't only come from the ground. But leopards remain the best documented, most consistent predator of early hominins across multiple cave sites in Africa, spanning hundreds of thousands of years. This wasn't an occasional threat. This was a standing, permanent condition of being a small, slow, mostly defenseless hominin in a landscape built for ambush predators. Living under that kind of pressure for that long doesn't just kill individuals, it shapes a species. Researchers who study predator pressure on early hominins have proposed several behavioral fingerprints this left behind, patterns still visible in humans today, long after leopards stopped being a daily threat to most of us. Group sleeping. Solitary hominins were easy targets. Ones who slept in clusters with someone functionally on watch survived more often. That preference for sleeping near others, the unease most people still feel about sleeping completely alone in the open, may be an inherited setting, not a personal quirk. Fire. Once early humans controlled fire, cave sites show something remarkable. Leopard predation drops off sharply. Fire didn't just provide warmth, it was very likely the first effective anti-predator technology our ancestors ever had. The reason a campfire still feels, even now, like the boundary of safe. Alarm calling. Distinctive warning sounds for different predator types are still observed today in some primate relatives, and some researchers argue the roots of human language itself may trace back to needing fast, specific ways to say danger from above versus danger from the grass. This is the part that should feel uncomfortable. If you've ever felt a sudden, irrational spike of unease looking up into a dark tree canopy, or felt your skin prickle in total silence for no clear reason, you're not imagining a threat that isn't there. You're running software that was written by an animal that used to genuinely kill people like you on a regular basis for hundreds of thousands of years. Modern psychology even has a term adjacent to this: prepared fear. Humans, more than almost any other species, are pre-wired to acquire fears of snakes, spiders, and the dark far faster and far more permanently than fears of objectively more dangerous modern things like cars or electrical outlets. Evolution didn't have time to update the list. You are, quite literally, still flinching from something that stopped hunting your ancestors before written history began. So where do wolves fit into this? Wolves became a significant threat to humans much later, mostly once humans started living in larger, semi-settled groups near livestock, competing directly with wolves for the same prey. That's a relationship built on resource competition, not ambush predation. It's also, notably, the same relationship that eventually turned into domestication, because a rival you can out-cooperate is a very different kind of threat than a predator that hunts you silently from a tree. Leopards never went through that transition. There was no version of let's team up available between a leopard and a hominin. The relationship stayed exactly one thing for the entire time it existed: predator and prey. So the next time something in a dark room makes the hair stand up on your arms for no visible reason, that's not superstition. That's not your imagination being dramatic. That is a genuinely ancient alarm system, built by hundreds of thousands of years of a very specific, very effective predator, still running quietly in the background of a brain that technically doesn't need it anymore. Wolves came for the food, leopards came for you, and some very old part of you still hasn't forgotten which one to be more afraid of. If your brain does this kind of thing to you, flinching before you know why, subscribe. That's basically what this channel is about.